Om Asmadgurubhyo Namaha. Om Namah Paramarishibhyo Namah Paramarishibhyah. Om Namah Paramarishibhyo Namah Paramarishibhyah. नीलातुङ्गस्तनगिरितटी सुप्तमुद्बोध्य कृष्णम् आराध्यं स्वं श्रुतिशतशिरःसिद्धमध्यापयन्ती स्वोच्छिष्ठायां स्रजनिगडितं याबलात्कृत्य भुङ्क्ते गोदा तस्यै नम इदमिदं भूय एवास्तु भूयः कास्यपान्वय सञ्जातं नारायणपदाश्रितं श्रीमन्नारायणं वन्दे यतीश्वरश्रियाजुषम् ॐ अस्मद्गुरुभ्यो नमः. So today we will discuss the 30th Pasuram. வங்கக் கடல் கடைந்த மாதவனை கேசவனை திங்கள் திருமுகத்து சேலையார் சென்றிறைஞ்சி அங்கப்பறை கொண்ட வாத்தை அணிபுதுவை பைங்கமல தந்தெறியல் பட்டர் பிரான் கோதை சொன்ன சங்கத்தமிழ் மாலை 30 தப்பாமே இங்கு பரசரைப்பார் ஈரிரண்டு மால்வரை தோள் செங்கம் திருமுகத்து செல்வத் திருமாலார் எங்கும் திருவருள் பெற்று இம்பெருவர் எம்பாவாய். This is the Pasuram for today. Adiyan.
Once again, one. Give me 1 minute. வங்க கடல் கடைந்த மாதவனை கேசவனை திங்கள் திருமுகத்து சேழிழையார் தென்றிலஞ்சி அங்க பறை கொண்ட ஆற்றை அணி புதுவை பைங்கமல தன் தெரிய பட்டர்பிரான் கோதை சொன்ன சங்க தமிழ் மாலை 30 தப்பாமே இங்கு பரிசுரைப்பார் ஈரிரண்ட மால்வரை தோள் செங்கல் திருமுகத்து செல்வ திருமாலால் எங்கும் திருவருள் பெற்று இல்புருவர் ஆண்டாள் திருவடிகளே சரணம்.
ஆண்டாள் திருவடிகளே சரணம். Thank you so much. So today is the 30th Pasuram and this is discussing the phalam, right? Just like towards the end of Vishnu Sahasranama, we are told the phalam associated with reciting Vishnu Sahasranama. Similarly, towards the end of Thiruppavai, Andal is trying to tell us the fruit of reciting Thiruppavai. So as far as the fruit is concerned, she is trying to first of all meditate upon one of the qualities of the Lord. What is the beautiful quality of the Lord? Yesterday they have expressed that it is not that they have come to attain a goal, it is the Lord who has come to obtain something that he has to get, right? In other words, he has lost his property, so he has to come and search for his property and take it back. So that is the quality that they are continuing to meditate here. In other words, why did the churning of the ocean happen that day? Because Mahalakshmi got angry with him and she left to her place and she went into the Samudram. So he made a pretext of devatas, having to get this amrutam and all that. And on the pretext of that, he went and he himself churned and he made Mahalakshmi come out of it. And then she chose him, right? So similarly, if you look at Ramayanam, what does Ramayanam tell us? It is Rama who put all the effort to go all the way till Sita Devi, wherever she was. He went and searched here and there through forests, through mountains, through hills, through rivers, through canals, everything, through the ocean. He went and searched everywhere and finally he himself came to Sita Devi and then he got her. In other words, it is the Lord who is going to put that effort to bring that jiva back. So this is the point that they have glorified yesterday. So that is what they are trying to express today. Vanga kadal kadaindha madhavanai keshavanai. Now what they are trying to say is Vanga kadal means they are talking about the ocean, which is filled with certain kinds of boats or ships. Kadaindha. What did the Lord do? He churned that particular ocean. Who is that Lord? He is Madhavan. Why are they specifically remembering this word Madhavan? Because just like you did it for Ma, Lakshmi Devi, right? You are going to do it for all of us too. In other words, you are definitely going to come for us and you are going to take us back, right? This is the faith that they are expressing, right? Now, that is what, because she is the, in other words, Madhava is significant because Ma means she is the Purushakara Bhuta. She is the leader of all the jivas, right? So she is representing all the jivas. In other words, whether it's Ramayana as Sita Devi or as Mahalakshmi in the Ksheerasagara Mathanam, in all of these episodes, or as Goda Devi here, right? Or in all of these cases, the Mahalakshmi is representing jivas, right? So he is going to put that effort to get his lost property in this samsara, which is the jiva in samsara, right? Therefore, they are remembering Madhavan, right? If we look at the Vishnu Purana or Bhagavata Purana and so on, look at the Ksheerasagara Mathanam incident in the Puranas or Mahabharata also, we do not find, even in the Ramayana it appears, right? Ksheerasagara Mathanam is very famous. It appears in multiple Puranas, but we don't find many mention, at many places the mention of, boats being present in the Ksheerasagaram, or, or in fact, Sagaram, boats or ships being present. It'll be difficult for us to say boats are present in an ocean, so we have to say ships if we are talking about an ocean. But we don't find many such things in an ocean, right? But here, interestingly, she has mentioned vanga kadal. That means the kadal is filled with ocean. Sorry, the kadal, ocean is filled with ships or boats. That's what she is trying to say. So what are the ships or boats that she is referring to? This boat is nothing but Paramatma. In other words, he is the person who becomes the boat and carries the jiva across the ocean of samsara onto the other side of samsara, which is Pal Kadal, right? This is the mood that is expressed everywhere, right? Kulashekara Alvar, in his Mukundamala Stotram, what does he say? Bhavajaladi gatanam, dvandva vata hatanam, sutta duhitru kalatratrana bhara arditanam, vishama vishayatoye majjatam aplavanam, then bhavatu sharanam eko vishnu poto naranam. He says, bhavatu sharanam, that means I would like to surrender to one boat. Ekaha. Bhavatu Sharanam Eko Vishnu Poto. The name of the boat is Vishnu. All human beings have to surrender to that one boat called Vishnu, because surrender to that boat, in other words, if you get into that boat is the boat that can carry us across the ocean of samsaram. Because the nature of samsaram is Bhavajaladi Gatanam. Jaladhi means ocean. Bhavajaladhi means the ocean of samsara. We are all someone Bhavajaladhi Gatanam. We have taken to this ocean of samsara. We are inside this ocean of samsara. What is the nature? Dvandva vata hatanam. In the ocean, several tides keep coming and keep hitting us, right? What are these tides? Dvandva vata hatanam. All dualities like hunger and thirst, happiness and distress, pain and pleasure. In this way, different waves, they keep, coming, and we have to keep riding on these waves, right? That is the nature of the ocean. And then he is saying, Sutta duhitru kalatratrana bhara arditanam. This is the place where one has to tolerate, the burden of so many people, right? In samsaram, right? In the case of here, he is saying, children, similarly wife, husband, right? In this way, there all these burdens one has to carry throughout the life, right? Everybody has to carry these burdens, right? In other words, there are so many responsibilities. Just like, why is this compared to ocean? Because when we are in the ocean, what happens? The salty water keeps on getting into our body, right? And then we all, if recently we have heard, right, the case of a particular there was a certain company where they had a submarine, that got submerged. They were going on an expedition for, seeing the place of Titanic. And, as it went further and further, the burden of the ocean, it compressed it completely. So it imploded inside, right? That particular submarine imploded from within. In other words, the amount of burdens that are present in samsara are such that they make the person weaker and weaker. As they keep progressing through samsaram, the person becomes very weak. Vishama vishayatoye majjatam aplavanam. And the person is in between, even in an ocean, there are different kinds of creatures like crocodiles and, whales and, seahorses, and so many different kinds of creatures exist in the ocean, right? So in that way, there are so many sense objects. and so on, right? These are the our senses and sense objects, attraction towards the sense objects. The senses are these grahas. Grahas means crocodiles. In this way, because they're, just like a crocodile comes and captures, we get captured by some of these things, right? Attraction towards this, attraction towards that. Those are the things that come and capture us in this ocean. So in this way, there are lots of similarities to an ocean for samsara. So then the only way to cross over this ocean is Vishnu Poto Naranam. Why is it the only boat? Because elsewhere the Bhagavata Puranam says in one place that this entire ocean of samsara becomes the water contained in the footprint of a calf. Right? That is how much water is present in the footprint of a calf. If a calf just steps over water, then you can understand, right? It steps over water and then it comes out of water. Then how much water is contained in the footprint of a calf? So that ocean of samsara becomes just the footprint of a calf, the water contained in the footprint of a calf. That means that easily a person who takes shelter of the boat called Vishnu can cross over samsara, although it is like an ocean, right? That is why we are told that vanga kadal, that Andal is saying that that boat is nothing but Vishnu. He has to take us. He is the upayam. That is the point that she is trying to mention here. There is another boat that Krishna talks about in Bhagavad Gita, 4th chapter. Sarvam jnana plaveneva vrajinam santarishyasi. He says that jnana is that boat. What is that jnana that becomes the boat for crossing over the ocean of samsara? Jnana about who I am, jnana about who God is, jnana about what is the relationship between me and God, right? Jnana about what are the obstacles for me to attain God, and jnana about what is the means to attain Him, which is Himself. When we possess these kinds of knowledge, then we will actually take shelter of that boat called Vishnu, right? Otherwise, we will not take that boat. That boat is also available along with many other companies. So we may choose this or that, but none of those boats can help us cross over samsara. There's only one boat that can help us cross over to the other side. That is the boat called Vishnu. So therefore, she is saying, vanga kadal kadaindha. He took the entire pain of churning the ocean. It was not an easy episode for the Lord, right? Because the Devatas could not really accomplish anything in that entire pastime. Because first of all, they came to him. They said, we need strength. Then he said, okay, I will suggest a plan. You go and churn the ocean, then you will get strength. Then they went to the ocean. Then they did not know how to, get something from that ocean. So then again they came back and asked him, you please tell us how to churn the ocean. What can we put inside the ocean to churn it? Then he said, you go and get the Mandarachala hill. That is a huge hill. So you can actually put it in the ocean and you can churn. Then they went all the way till there. Then they put all their effort. They could not lift it. They came back to the Lord again. They asked him, we are not able. All the devatas put together, they were not able to do it. And they came back to the Lord and asked him, right, could you, suggest a solution? Then he said, in times like these, always make sure that you have to make friendship with even enemies, because you have to leverage their help when necessary. Then they went and invoked the Rakshasas also. Then they came back and said, if we involve them, they are going to ask for something. Then what should we give them? And the Lord said, don't worry about what we should give them. I'll take care of that. You bring them too and you make friendship with them. They went and talked to them. They made a truce with them that you'll also get a few things from this ocean. You take a few things, we'll take a few things. Then they agreed to the deal. They also came. All of them together could not lift that Mandarachala hill. Again, Mandarachala could not be lifted. Again, they came back to Vishnu. Then Vishnu himself came, right? And then he sent Garuda. And Garuda actually lifted that whole thing, right? And then, it lifted and it placed inside the ocean. Now, as soon as they started churning it, it immediately sank into the ocean. Now, again, they had a problem. Again, they came to Vishnu that, no, please suggest a solution. It sank into the ocean. Then again, he himself became a huge Kurma avataram and he rose from underneath the ocean and he brought this hill on his back, on top of him. And he became a stable ground for it. And then they asked him to, and then he asked them to start churning. Then they said, we want to churn, but where is the rope? Then again, he sent Vasuki. And then he asked them to use Vasuki to churn it. Then, while using Vasuki, Vasuki is going to go through a lot of friction. No, if you rotate her and then you try to do this, then her entire body, will be subject to so many rashes and all that, right? She will get so many scratches, bleed, and all that. So then he himself entered into and then on the one side, someone has to hold the head. On the other side, someone has to hold the tail. Now, if someone keeps holding your head and they keep moving you like this, after some time you'll start getting headache, right? Now you can imagine, even if it's a snake, so many people are holding it and pressing it very tightly. You have to hold it because you cannot loosely hold it and do like this. Then nothing will happen. You have to hold it very tightly. So then someone has to support Vasuki's head from getting damaged, from getting brain hemorrhage, right? Someone has to support Vasuki's tail also, so that she doesn't get some sprain in the ankles and all that, right? She doesn't get any injuries in her ankle and all of that. So someone also has to support the middle region of Vasuki, because that is circularly it is circling this entire Mandarachala hill, right? We all know, right? We have been to Tirumala hill and all that. We know how so many rocks exist, so many tree branches exist in the entire hill. Is not like it's a smooth surface like this. It's not like that. Like some of us make for Randal Tirukkalyanam, no, the hill of peanuts or something like that. It's not that smooth. It's actually very rugged, right? Very ragged. And because of that, it may get so many scratches. So Paramatma himself entered into the head of the Vasuki, into the middle region of Vasuki, into the tail of Vasuki. And he asked them to churn. Now he himself became afraid that Mandarachala hill might start getting crushed. So he entered into the Mandarachala hill to support it. Then it may slip and fall. So he himself became the surroundings of Mandarachala, because someone has to hold it from both sides so that it doesn't slip and fall, right? So he himself became that support from all directions so that hill is held. He also supported it from the top, because it cannot be loose on the top. There has to be something on the top, something on the bottom, so that it remains in place, right? So he himself became that support on the top. Despite all this, the Devatas and the Danavas could not churn it. They churned for a long time, nothing came out of it. And they lost all their energy. They came to Paramatma to get some strength, because they were very weak. They were getting constantly beaten up by Asuras. So they became even more weak, because they're all delicate beings. Devatas, they are all sattvic people, right? They're very, very delicate. It's not like they have, huge muscular bodies like, Rakshasas and so on. So they again got tired and they came to Perumal. Then Perumal himself became one among the Devatas. He became one among the Rakshasas. He entered into all the Devatas. He entered into all the Rakshasas. And now he himself started churning. So now we can imagine how much effort he had put for accomplishing the task of obtaining Mahalakshmi from the ocean back. So they are remembering all of this effort that he has put. And in the process, therefore they are saying, Madhavanai, for her sake, you put all this effort, right? And then you also have not only Nitya Sambandham with Mahalakshmi, you have Nitya Sambandham with all of us. So I'm sure you are going to put the same amount of effort. In fact, he's actually putting it. He is Nitya Krushi Wala. He puts so much effort. Otherwise, why he tells in Bhagavad Gita that repeatedly he's taking births. At least, we have an end. For him, there is no end to birth taking in samsara. The moment we get moksham, there is no further birth taking in samsaram again. We are done once and for all, because that's a one-way path. There is no two-way for jivas. But he still has to deliver other jivas. So again, he has to come. So for him, there is no end. This is going on and on and on and on. For every single jiva's sake, he has to come. He has to go through all the fun that the jiva goes through. Just like, when we are dealing with toddlers, we are very tired, we come from office, and then toddler says, please take me to the park. Toddler wants to explore every single thing. We are very tired, we want to go back. But the toddler says, no, I want to sit here for some time. I want to play with this for some time. I want to watch that for some time. We just have to be patient. Now we can imagine how patient Paramatma has to be, because this is how we keep enjoying samsara. He says, I want this, I want that. That is very beautiful. This is very beautiful. I'll sit for some time here. Some time means few million births. Okay. Sometime in this world, sometime in this lokam. Sometimes I want to enjoy this. Sometimes I want to enjoy that. In this way, we keep on doing. Right? And he has to be patient with every single jiva until that jiva gets delivered. So this is a lot of effort. So he is like a farmer who always, like a farmer, every season he has to put that effort to make sure the crops come out well. So he's Bhakti Udavan, Bhagavan. One of the Alvars says, right, that he puts a lot of effort, right? Now, therefore, they are saying Keshavan. In other words, for the Devata's sake also, he has done there. Right? Devatas headed by Brahma and Rudra and all the other Devatas. So by saying Keshavan, there are multiple meanings here. One meaning of Keshava means Ka iti Brahmano nama Ishoham Sarvadehinam Avam tava ange sambhutau tasmat Keshava namavan. This is what Lord Shiva told Narayana when he came to Kailasam, right? In Krishnavataram, he once visited there. So he said, Ka iti Brahmano nama. Ka means Brahma. Isha or Ishana refers to Lord Rudra, right? Avam tava ange sambhuto. Sambhuto. Both of us came from your body. Therefore, you are called Keshava. That means you are the Niyamaka of Devatas beginning with Brahma and Rudra. So in this episode of Ksheerasagara Mathanam, we are seeing that even Devatas are taking shelter of him, right? That is one thing they are remembering. The other thing is Kesha, his hairs are very beautiful. In the process of that churning, his beautiful hair locks are starting to sweat, right? And they're rotating like this. As he's trying to churn like this, those hair locks are rotating on both sides, right? And then that process, viewing that scene itself is so beautiful, right? They were meditating on that scene. In other words, when sweat starts coming, it is showing that someone has put a lot of effort. That's when sweat will come, right? They were meditating on the divine sweat coming from the divine form of the Lord. That means how much effort he has put. That is what they're meditating using the word Keshavan. That is the other thing, other meaning, right? Then the third meaning of this is he is the destroyer of the demon called Keshi, right? There is a demon called Keshi that prevented him from attaining his devotees in Mathura. So he killed that demon and then he went to Mathura. Just like he killed the demon called Keshi that prevented him from reaching his devotees, similarly, he also kills the demons like, Kartrutva Hankaram, Jnatritva Hankaram, Bhoktrutva Hankaram, all these things, so that he can actually reach all of us. These things are present as demons in all of us. So he kills many such demons like that. So Keshi, is one such demon that they are talking about, right? In other words, all these things they are remembering using the word Keshavan. So he is becoming the means in every sense, and for that he himself has to put a lot of effort for bringing a jiva back from samsara to Vaikuntha, right? And he has to be very, very patient in the process, and he takes all responsibility and he puts any amount of effort that is necessary to bring the jiva back. So this is what they are trying to A, meditate upon, and B, reiterate that fact for all of us. Right? Now, Tingal Tirumugattu Seileyar Sendirainji possessing Tingal Tirumugattu, possessing the divine faces that resemble the moon, Seileyar, that means possessing divine ornaments, Sendru, they have approached, and Irainji, they have glorified the Lord. Right? In the first line, they are talking about the Lord's Vaibhavam, right? That is what they are discussed in the first line. Now, in the second line, they are talking about the Vaibhavam of Sharanagatas, the nature of Sharanagatas, how exactly they are, right? Those who have taken shelter of him. What happens to them? Now, previously, their faces were very tired, but upon uniting with Krishna, their faces were now glowing like full moon, right? They were completely having that moon-like glow. So therefore, Tingal Tirumugat, right? Why were they like moon? Because his own face resembles the moon, right? Therefore, when they were constantly absorbed in looking at his face, their own faces got that glow, and their own faces became like moon, right? Just like we have all discussed in the past, right? Why does Sita Devi have black eyes? Because she constantly keeps looking at Ramachandra, and that black color of Ramachandra came to the eyes of Sita Devi, right? Similarly, constant meditation on him, as discussed, in devotees like Tyagaraja Swami, right? They discuss this in Endaro Mahanubhavalu, glorifying the nature of Sharanagatas, people who have taken shelter of him, right? Very beautiful song. Endaro Mahanubhavalu means so many great personalities, so many devotees of him. How are they? Chanduru Varnuni Anda Chandamanu. That means looking at the beauty of one who resembles the moon, Hridayaravindamunna Chuchi, that means within the lotus of their hearts, they meditate upon the beauty of the Lord's face, which glows like moon. And then Brahmanandamu Anubhavinchuvaru Endaro Mahanubhavaru. So they experience great amount of joy just by meditating upon his form, right? And then who are they, right? Shailiyar, they are decorated with divine qualities like apahata papmatvam, right? These are all the qualities that they get upon uniting with the Lord, like we discussed previously, right? Once the jiva attains Paramatma, the jiva is decorated with all kinds of ornamental qualities, right? Apahata papmatvam means freedom from sins. Vijaraha, freedom from old age. Mrutyuhu, freedom from death. In this way, so many so many ornamental qualities are things that Paramatma decorates the jiva with, right? Therefore, they are Shailayar, right? That's what they are saying. Even this point, Tyagaraja Swami, he meditates in this beautiful Pasuram. He says, Hari Guna Manimaya Saramulu Galamuna Shobhillu Bhakta Kotulu, right? We'll see if Harini ji is able to join and sing this song.
Yes, Adian, I'm here.
Adian, please go ahead.
Okay. Chanduru Varnoni Chanduru Varnoni Anda Chandamunu Hridayar Vindamuna Jochi Brahmanandamanu Bhavin Chuvar Vindamuna Jochi Brahmanandamanu Bhavin Chuvar Intaro Bhavunu Hariguna. Can I sing the Hariguna too? Or sorry. Hariguna Manimaya Saramulugala Munaso Pillu Bhakta Kotulilalo Tilivito Chelimito Karunagalki Jagamellanu Suda Drishtiche Brochuvarentaro Mahanu Avulu Amtariki Vandanamu Amtaro Mahanubhavulu.
Thank you.
Adin
Thank
Swami.
you.
Thank you. Adin.
So this beautiful Kirtana by Tyagaraja Swami is describing the glories of many such Bhagavatas, right? Who are absorbed in looking at him and who are completely engrossed in him. And they themselves, constantly enjoy his beautiful form in their hearts. And they experience supreme bliss. That is also something Andal talks about in this particular Pasuram, right? Towards the end, she talks. And then they are someone who are decorated with this Hari Guna Manimayas Saramulu Galamuna Sobhillu in their hearts. They have these qualities of the Lord is what they decorate themselves with, right? The Lord's qualities is what the jiva gets. The Lord has these qualities. The Ashtaguna Avirbhavam is called decoration of jiva with these qualities, right? Ashtagunas means these are all unsurpassed qualities that the Lord has. And these are the same qualities he gives the Mukta Jiva, right? Niranjanam Paramam Samyam Upaiti, says the Vedam. That highest equality with the Lord, the Jiva gets in the state of liberation. Whatever is the highest amount of equality that they can get with the Lord, that much he gives, right? He gives himself to such devotees. So all his qualities they get, except a few things that he reserves for himself, which is Lakshmi Patitvam, Sarva Jagat Karanatvam, right? Sarva Niyamakatvam. These are certain qualities that only he has, nobody else has. But every other quality of him, like all wonderful qualities, the Jivas also get in the Moksha Darshan, right? So this is what, this is how in this second line we are clearly seeing how Andal is meditating on the nature of the Lord, the nature of devotees in the second line. And these two lines actually also, they explain the meaning of the first padam of Dvaya Mantram, right? Then Anga Parai Konda Vatrai. Anga in that Brindavana, Parai Konda Avatrai. So now they are talking about the way in which they obtained that particular instrument called Parai. What is that Parai? Bhagavat Kainkaryam. So this third line is talking about the nature of fruit. First line about the nature of Paramatma. Second line about the nature of Jivatma who has performed surrender to Paramatma. Right? Then the third line is the nature of the fruit that they get. Right? In other words, this is talking about what? This is talking about Tattvatrayam. This is talking about, the Arthapanchakam. These are the things that are being described here, line by line. How beautifully Andal has composed this particular, composition called Thiruppavai. See. So then what is it that they have done to get that parai? They have expressed their deficiencies and they have also expressed Paramatma's completeness. That he is so complete that despite being deficient, he is able to deliver all of us. Right? This is the nature of Paramatma. Because all of us, whether we wear soiled clothes and come, whether we wear nice clothes and come, we are always children for our mother. Right? So in that way, for Paramatma, we are always dear. Right? The what is causing this kind of friction is, our attachment to samsara. That is causing friction. Right? If we give up this samsaram, anytime Paramatma is willing to take us back. But we want to enjoy here. We want to stay here. That's why he's unable to come. Just like, sometimes kids, they get so attracted to the daycare that they don't want to come out of that. As soon as parents come, they want to, sometimes, in the beginning phases, they cry to leave the parents and go to the daycare. After some time, they cry to leave the daycare and come back to the parent. So this is how, the jivas behave in samsaram. And then they approach through Bhagavatas, right? Anipuduvai Penkamala Tantarian Pattarbiran Kodai Sonna. Now, here they are describing about the nature of Goda Devi, who is the leader of, showing us the process of attaining Paramatma, right? What is the nature of Goda Devi? She was born to, Bhattar. Who is that Bhattar? Bhattanatha. She is born to Vishnu Chitta or Periyalvar. What is the nature of Periyalvar? He is someone, he and Andal herself, they were born in this beautiful place called Srivilliputturu, right? Anipuduvai means that Srivilliputturu itself is an ornament for this entire world. Why? Why is it an ornament? Because there is something unique with Srivilliputturu, right? There are certain places like Mithila where only, Mahalakshmi is born, right? Places like Ayodhya, Gokula, and so on, where only, the Lord is born, right? There are other places where only Bhagavatas are born. But Srivilliputturu has a unique distinction where she appeared as Andal, Perumal himself appeared as Vatapatra Sai, and, his Bhagavatas like Periyalvar also appeared in that place. So all three people are present in one place. So that is a unique distinction of Srivilliputturu, right? So therefore, such a place is like an ornament to the entire world because these are the three tattvas, right? Acharya Tattvam and then Perumal Tattvam and Tayar Tattvam. All three are present in one place. And how is this, what is the nature of this Periyalvar? Gurumukham anadhitya prahavedan aseshan narapati parikluptam shulkamadatu kamaha swasuram amaravandyam ranganathasya sakshad vidakula tilakam tam vishnu chittam namami. Right? This is his Taniyan. What does this mean? It means Gurumukham anadhitya prahavedan aseshan. There was a time that came where, he never studied the Vedas formally under anybody, right? And the essence of the Vedas and all these things. He was just happy, just serving Paramatma. The Kainkaryam he was doing was every day he was making this tulsi garlands he was offering to Paramatma. Of course, he is very learned, but, the amount of knowledge that he got blessed, right? There was a time that came where he has to establish Vishnu Paratvam, right? And at that circumstances, everybody came to him and he didn't know what to do. He went to Paramatma and Paramatma ordered that you go and do it, right? Then he expressed that, I'm not capable of doing this because I don't know all these things. I have just a little bit of devotion to Paramatma, but I'm not capable of doing all these things. But he blessed him with all knowledge. That is the glory of all Alvars actually. Why are they distinct? Why are they unique? Alvars are someone who are born. Nammalvar, where did he do Adhyayanam? In fact, any of the Alvars for that, most of the Alvars for that matter, there is no formal Adhyayanam we see in their life that they went to a guru, properly approached a guru and learned. They were just blessed with all knowledge, right? And the Paramatma himself chose certain jivas like that and he blessed these jivas with so much knowledge that the essence of Vedas they got, right? That is who these Alvars are. So that is the glory of Vishnu Chittar also, right? He's called Vishnu Chittar because in his Chitta or the mind, Vishnu Murti always exists in his mind. That is the nature of Vishnu Chittar. Here another quality of Vishnu Chittar is being told that Penkamala Tantariyan, right? He who always adorns a garland of lotuses in his neck. What is the significance of this? In fact, it is told that grahasthas have to wear this garland of lotus beads. Why? What is the significance of that? Lotus beads are nothing but Paramatma. The garland of lotus beads is nothing but Paramatma. In other words, Paramatma has to remain in our hearts all the time. That is the significance of wearing lotus beads. Why? Everything related to him is lotus. His Nabhi is Pankaja Nabhi. It is, lotus navel. That is how we describe his navel, right? Then his eyes are lotus eyes. His feet are lotus feet. Everything related to him is lotus, 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 right? So, in fact, this is how Kunti Devi meditates on Paramatma in Bhagavatam. Namo Pankaja Nabhaya, Namo Pankaja Maline. His mala also is Pankajas. Namo Pankaja Netraya, Namaste Pankaja Anghraye. This is one of the slokams in Bhagavata Purana, right? So, everything related to him is lotuses. So, when we are wearing a garland of lotuses around our neck, that means we are wearing Paramatma constantly, right? In this way, that is how, in other words, he stood for that. And very interesting how Andal also, by meditating on Keshavan here, right? She is meditating on Paramatma. It's very interesting. Second Pasuram, she said, Paraman Adipadi, right? She started with meditation on the lotus feet, and she is ending Thiruppavai with meditation on the hair. In other words, all the way from toes to hair, she has meditated on Paramatma fully. The entire form of Paramatma is being meditated here, right? So this is the beauty. So many beauties in Tiruppavai. So many, every day, even after, discourse is over, so many of you share so many wonderful points, right? So many realizations of Tiruppavai. So many beautiful things exist in Tiruppavai. So this is who, he is Piran. He is someone who benefits us this way. He established Vishnu Paratvam in this world. He gave beautiful Goda Devi to this world, who gave beautiful Tiruppavai to this world. He became the father-in-law of the Supreme Lord himself, right? How many unique attributes exist for Periyalvar, right? So therefore, he is someone who has attained distinction. Now, this Goda is the daughter of such a Periyalvar. That is what is her distinction. Just like Krishna, he loves to be called by names associated with his devotees, right? If we call him Nandagopan, Kumaran, then he loves it. If he call him Yashoda Idam Singam, he loves it, right? Similarly, Goda Devi also, she likes Pattar Viran Godai. That is how we have to call her. That she loves that association with Bhagavatas, right? Mahalakshmi also loves that association. That's why we call her Janaki, right? She is the daughter of Janaka Maharaja, right? They love this. Similarly, even great Bhagavatas like Vyasa and so on, how do we describe Vyasa? We say Vyasa, Vasishta Naptaram, Shakte Pautram, Akalmasham, Parasara Atmajam, Shukatatam, right? We are describing Vyasa with 4 generations of people. The father of Shuka, then Vasishta Naptaram, the great grandson of Vasishta, then the grandson of Shakti, the son of Parasara, right? This is how we are describing Vyasa also, right? That association with other Bhagavatas, that smarana has to be there always, right? Then Sangat Tamil Malai Muppadum Tappame, right? These Tamil Malai Muppadum, these 30 garland of verses of classical Tamil, Sangha, they must always be enjoyed in groups, Tappame, without fail, right? Why? What is so special about this garland of verses? One thing about Goda Devi we all know, right? She always used to wear a garland, enjoy it, and give it to Paramatma. No, she also enjoyed this garland called Tiruppavai and finally offered it to Paramatma, right? So, therefore, this garland of verses, these verses are compared to a garland. The other thing is, just like in a garland, there are many beautiful flowers, right? And they have to be arranged. If you put all the flowers in whichever way you want, it won't give beauty. If there are multicolored garlands like these and so on, the garland maker exactly has that vision, right? Thanks to Jayashree Mami in this case, right? No, she makes such amazing garlands all the time, right? So they should know exactly where to place each flower so that the garland comes out in perfection. So that is how she placed Tiruppavai too. That sequence of verses that she arranged in Tiruppavai, right? Margali Tingal first, right? That means whatever is the time where we feel like we have to attain God, that is a time one has to celebrate. That is the auspicious time. Because so far we have been vimukha from God, now we have turned towards God. So that is a time one has to celebrate. Then as one tries to approach this path, one has to practice certain do's and don'ts. She covered in the second Pasuram. The third Pasuram, she said that if you take to this path, Ongi Udagadanda Uttaman Per Padi, if you just sing his names and then do everything, then everything will flourish in your life. That is the phalam. right? That is what she is going to talk about here also. The phalam of Thiruppavai is that one will obtain Paramatma in the end. But for those who, even recite Tiruppavai, one will attain Paramatma in the end. But even in this world, all kinds of good things will happen to them, right? All good things will happen to such people because there is a blessing of Mahalakshmi and blessing of Paramatma, right? If her blessing is there, his blessing has to come. There's no other option. So then glorifying the Lord, right? And then Mayanai, Mannavadu, Madarai, Maindanai, this all these things she said, Teenil tu sagum seppelorembavai, right? She said that just by glorifying his names, our papas will go away, just like cotton is burnt, In this way, papas will go away. Then she talked about a proper way of approaching Paramatma is to take shelter of Bhagavatas. She described different characteristics of Bhagavatas in verses 6 to 15, right? Then first Bhagavata Sahavasam should be there. That's when we will develop those qualities related to Paramatma, right? Gradually that devotion will develop in us. So Bhagavata Sahavasam is the first thing. Then Nandagopan is the person that she approached. One has to take shelter of a proper acharya to systematically learn everything. Because Bhagavatas here and there, this, that, little here, little there, that's how we will learn. But ultimately, acharya samashrayanam is necessary. One has to take shelter of an acharya and then get proper mantram from him. So that is what they are indicating by taking shelter of Yashoda. Then she talked about taking shelter of Mahalakshmi. Then she talked about taking shelter of Paramatma himself, right? Then they have petitioned in front of Paramatma, right? What is the petition? That asking him to remove all the obstacles that are present in their life, asking for service to him, declaring that there is no other means except him, and expressing the final desire for eternal service to the Lord. So this is everything that she has beautifully. So this is the essence of Vedas, right? Everything is there in the Vedas, Itihasas, Puranas. We have quoted so many, references from Veda, Itihasas, and Puranas for every line of Tiruppavai, right? Literally. That shows how much this is actually based in the Veda, Itihasas, and Puranas. This is not a random composition, right? There are so many compositions that are written by so many poets, but every composition will not attain the same status. That status is given only when it is based in Vedam as the authority. That is, Vedam is Parama Pramanam for all of us, right? It has to be grounded on Vedam, Itihasam, and Puranam. So clearly, Tiruppavai fulfills that criterion. And in fact, in certain sense, Tiruppavai and Divya Prabandham, they are actually better than the Vedas also. Just like Krishna is better than Narayana. Why? In terms of his saulabhyam, in terms of his accessibility. Veda, everybody does not have accessibility. Everybody cannot recite the Veda, right? Some people are prohibited from reciting the Veda. So there is no possibility they can get the message of the Vedas. Even if someone can recite the Veda, it is hard to understand the meanings of the Veda. To understand the meanings of the Veda, there are so many things that are required. One should have knowledge of Chandas, Shiksha, Vyakaranam, Jyotisham, Kalpam. All this knowledge is necessary. Niruktam. One should understand all these things. Despite that, still there are scholarly disagreements between what the true meaning of that particular line is. So therefore, seeing all this confusion, Vyasa himself decided to write Mahabharatam as the essence of the Vedas. He said that Itihasa Puranabhyam Vedam Samupabrumhayet, right? In order to expand the meaning of the Vedas, I am writing Itihasas and Puranas, so that Itihasas and Puranas became easily accessible. But even Itihasas and Puranas, they are so huge in number, right? And the number of verses contained in Itihasas, just Mahabharatam, it has 125,000 slokas. Ramayanam, it has 24,000 slokas, right? Two Itihasas, if every slokam, if we properly understand, it takes a lot of time, right? Just to understand two scriptures. What to speak of Puranas? All the Puranas put together, we will have 500,000 slokas, almost. So humanly, even if we try to, because each slokam is so deep, just like Tiruppavai is so deep, right? Each slokam is so deep. So much has been put into each slokam. So if we have to, actually go through discourse of each, then each slokam will take 1 day, or it'll take 1 day. So pretty much entire life we have to spend like this to understand. If understanding takes so much time, when will we even practice anything? So therefore, just like the Lord himself came in a more accessible form as Ramachandra, as Krishna, in the form of Archamurti, Vedam also appeared in the form of Divya Prabandham. Veda itself is a little diffused, right? It has so many goals, it has so many things. It doesn't directly get to the point, right? If we start with Taittiriya Upanishad, for instance, right? Some of us recite that. We see that it talks about Siksha, how to pronounce and all these things before, towards the end of that Upanishad, in Sikshavali, towards the end, Bhruguvali towards the end, that's when it starts glorifying about Paramatma Tattvam, about Dharma, how one should follow Acharyas, all those points come towards the later point. In the beginning, it's all different descriptions of, how one should utter things, But again, only when we know Vyakhyanams for all these things, then we can understand each of those verses in the right sense. But at the outset, if you see those, statements of Taittiriya Upanishad and all that, you will not understand. Even Brihadaranyaka, so many Upanishad statements are very cryptic. Even Brahma Sutras are cryptic. So they are cryptic, first of all, they are very diffused in the sense that they do not focus and tell you that Vedesya Sarve Rahameva Vedyaha, that they do not focus on just that one thing. Why? Because they have to accommodate everybody and all their desires. So all kinds of things, just like an encyclopedia has everything in them, that they have that purpose they have to fulfill. We shouldn't blame the Veda for being like that. Veda is just serving the purpose of an encyclopedia. It has to contain everything. For anybody who wants anything, Vedam should have a solution. So therefore, Vedam has been compiled in that way. Now, for you to search what exactly Vedam is telling in the essence, it's hard to get it. Without Vyasa's help, without Vyasa putting together Brahma Sutras, during his time, he brought all the rishis who have meditated and given different mantras and different things. How did Veda appear? Came through the meditation of different rishis, right? That's how they have compiled the Veda together. Then Vyasa, during his own time, he made sure that he put a conference, just like we have international conferences these days. He brought together all these sages, and then he, tried to justify the meanings of these things. When it comes to the essence, there has to be a shastram. So that is called Uttaramimamsam, right? Uttaramimamsa or Brahmamimamsam. That means determining the nature of Brahman. Brahman is a tattvam to be obtained by a jiva. So as far as that tattvam is concerned, he himself brought all the sages together. He held a conference. He tried to, do the debates and arguments and everything, because they are the ones who meditated and they realized. So all the conclusions he tried to present in a coherent way, that one particular rishi is meditating on one thing, another rishi is meditating on another thing. Are the two things the same or are they different? Right? Everybody's realization of Paramatma is different, right? Previously, we have discussed about the story of elephant and six blind men, right? One person, everybody is ultimately thinking about the elephant, but they have meditated only a portion of the elephant, because of which they are not able to put the whole picture together. So someone who is outside, who is not blind, has to come and say that, yes, elephant fully fits every one of your descriptions. So the tattvam you are talking about is an elephant, right? In this way, because one person said it's a fan, one person said it's like a wall. Person who touched the skin of the elephant, he thought it's a wall. Someone who touched the trunk, he thought it's a snake, right? Someone who touched the legs of the elephant, they thought it's a pillar. In this way, everybody thought it's a different thing, right? But one person said it's an elephant. Then everybody agreed. So in this way, Vyasa actually held a conference. He brought together all the sages, and he, made sure these Brahma Sutras are compiled so that the confusion doesn't exist. But the nature of sutras are such that they have to be written in a cryptic way, because they shouldn't be given in an accessible way to everybody. Right? There should be certain qualification for receiving Vedic knowledge. So therefore, there are rules because of which all this, just like a very precious thing is always kept in a very secret way, the most precious confidential message of the Vedas have been preserved in that way. But acharyas becoming so merciful, in Kali Yugam, the qualifications of people itself is very poor, right? No, not many people have the taste. For them to actually, in the past, we see, right, Indra and Virochana, some of these devatas, they served Brahma once for 32 years to get some knowledge from him. Then he gave partial knowledge, and they went. And then Indra, Virochana thought that this is it, I got the knowledge of Paramatma. But Indra, he realizes this cannot be Paramatma, right? He went back to Brahma. He said, finally, yes, you are right, this is not Paramatma. You meditate, you serve me for another 32 years, then I will tell you Paramatma. In this way, he made himself for 32, another 5 years, something like that. Finally, he gave him that knowledge. In that way, if acharyas try to test sishyas in Kali Yuga, there won't be any knowledge dissemination left in this world. So, for Kali Yugam, that knowledge has to be given, and, people have to be brought along. So all of these, the alvars and acharyas, of different sampradayas, they have accomplished, because, they wanted to see how to, give this message in an easy way so that they can get it, right? In this way, this compilation had been done. So in that sense, Divya Prabandham is the essence of the Vedas. It doesn't contain any distractions. It is only meant for people who want moksha, right? But obviously, just like if you go to a millionaire, he can also buy you a 10 rupee chocolate, right? He can buy you $1 million car, he can also get you a 10 rupee chocolate, right? Similarly, those who want to aspire for moksham, all ihaloka sukhas will automatically come to them. Even Krishna promises this in Bhagavad Gita. Those who follow Krishna, for them everything good will happen, right? In this way, those who actually follow Moksha Shastram, one should not be afraid that if I do this, if I follow this path, what will happen to me in samsaram? All good will happen. We may not always understand how that is good to us. So that will happen to us. So that is what is being described here. And as far as this Tiruppavai is concerned, it should always be enjoyed in groups. This is a specific thing for Tiruppavai. Why? That is how it developed. Tiruppavai developed in groups. Groups of people came together. That is how Andal meditated. So Tiruppavai has to be absorbed, always enjoyed in groups. The other thing is Krishna himself said in Bhagavad Gita, Bodhayanta Parasparam, mutually discuss with each other, Kathayantascha Mam Nityam, always talk about my stories with each other, discuss about me. He said in Bhagavad Gita. So always we should find other devotees in this world to discuss about Paramatma. That's when that joy multiplies. Just like when we share a sweet with someone, our joy multiplies. If we alone sit and eat that sweet, only we will enjoy. When we share it with someone, both of us feel, yeah, this is nice, this is tasting, it's very nice, the taste here is very good, and it's very juicy. In this way, when we keep sharing, joy multiplies, right? Similarly, Tiruppavai also, previously we discussed, also movie, for instance, right? If you watch alone, the experience is different. If you watch it with friends, the experience is different. So similarly, even Bhagavat Anubhavam should be done in groups, at least in Kali Yuga, because in previous yugas, at least jivas had that motivation to do anything on their own. In Kali Yuga, that is not there. The process is groups, because in groups there is mutual accountability. Each person will hold the other person accountable, right? That is the way one can actually make easy progress in Kali Yuga, find devotees who are like-minded and discuss about God with devotees, and then one can actually obtain Paramatma. So now this is the garland that she is talking about. And Tiruppavai is actually, reasonable in size. It's not too small like Tiruppaland. It's not too big like Tiruvaimoli, right? It's a reasonable 30 set of verses, right? Now, this is what Andal has given us. Inga ipparasara par irirandthol mal varai. Now, what she is saying that in this world, Ipparisu Uraipar. In this way, he who reads Tiruppavai, right? Irirandu told, the four arms of the Lord, Malvarai, that are like big mountains, right? What is she trying to say? In other words, the Lord has four arms, right? What is the purpose of four arms? To give four purusharthas, dharma, artha, kama, moksha, right? Everything he wants to give, right? That is the reason why he has four hands, to always tell us that one reason he has four hands is he's carrying all those weapons and he's indicating that I'm always there to protect you. Second reason he's having four arms is to indicate the four purusharthas that he is responsible for giving, right? Everything he is going to give for he who reads Tiruppavai, right? That is because her blessing is there in this, right? With the four arms, he can give all purusharthas. When we ask him to provide shelter, then he himself puts all that effort. Now she's saying, Irirandthol, that means the four arms of the Lord, Malvarai, that means they are appearing like big mountains, it seems. Why? Because when we take one step, the Lord takes 100 steps. Naturally, if he does so much workout, muscle size, volume will increase, right? So his arms also will increase. So that is what, the increase of arms, the bigness of arms is conveying, right? They are like big mountains, she's saying. That means he is very pleased that he's putting all the effort to take the jivas back. Chenkan Tirumugattu Selvat Tirumalal. Now, she is trying to describe how the Lord has red eyes, which are indicating that he's always filled with compassion towards jivas. That is a quality that he never leaves. He is filled with so much compassion. Tirumugattu, he possesses a divine face, a divine blissful face. In other words, she's trying to remind all of us that, just if his face, Bhagavata Purana says that his face is like nectar. Every organ of him is like nectar, right? Bahava Lokapalanam Saranganam Padambujam. In one place it says that, his two lotus feet, they appear like even for Bahava Lokapalanam, even for Lokapalas like Brahma, Rudra, Indra, and all the Devatas, his two lotus feet, they want to, meditate on those two lotus feet. Therefore, Vedam says, Om Tad Vishnoho Paramam Padam Sada Pashyanti Surayaha. Right? In one place, it is described that it is referring to the Suras are referring to Nitya Suris. In another place, it is described that these Suris are nothing but the devatas in this world. So they're constantly looking up to his lotus feet. This is what Vedam is saying, right? Because they are experiencing so much nectar, just like a bee, it is always roaming around lotuses. Similarly, they are also roaming around his lotus feet. So if his lotus feet are like that, then we can only imagine how beautiful his form is, his face is, and all that. And Chalvat Tirumanal, he is complete in his wealth because he is the husband of goddess of fortune herself. The nature of Sri is that everybody else desires her, Brahmendra Gangadharam. But her nature is she desires Mukunda Priya. Right? That is her nature, Lakshmi's nature. So, Engum Tiruvarul Petru Inbu Uruvar. Now, Engum. Now, the Palitam of Thiruppavai is being described here. He who reads these 30 Pasurams, then for them what happens? Clearly, the grace of Andal falls on them. Grace of Mahalakshmi falls on them. The grace of Mahalakshmi falls on them. The grace of Paramatma falls on them. He becomes possessed of those 4 arms. In other words, with those 4 arms, he is going to bestow all kinds of purusharthas on us. So there will definitely be ihaloka sukhas for such people. There will definitely be paraloka sukhas for such people, right? And ultimately, just like Andal, she has obtained Paramatma, and all the Gopikas, they have obtained Paramatma, we will also obtain Paramatma in the end. And just like they obtained Bhagavat Kainkaryam, we will also obtain Bhagavat Kainkaryam after attaining Vaikuntham. Just like they got decorated with all wonderful qualities, we will also get decorated with all wonderful qualities upon reaching Vaikuntha. Then, if there are girls that are unmarried and they recite Tiruppavai regularly, then their marriage will happen. This is also another benefit. So in this way, these are all the benefits of Tiruppavai that are described here. Ultimately, one will get the Tiru Arul Petru. One will get his divine grace, right? That will fall. And Inbu Uruvar, they will experience bliss in this world. So this is this beautiful Tiruppavai, which by the divine grace of Andal, by the divine grace of Purvacharyas and Perumal himself, we got the opportunity to experience in a group, right? All of us. Somehow Perumal brought all of us together, and we, without interruption, we were able to do. If this could happen, then it is only purely because of their grace this could happen this way. So I'm very, very grateful to all of you for taking the time and joining. On most days, most of you were able to join, right, consistently. So again, clearly by Perumal's grace, all of this has come together. And thank you for blessing us this way and giving us an opportunity to, share these beautiful messages of Tiruppavai. Andal Emperumanar Jiyar Tiruvadagale Sharanam. Jai Sriman Narayana.
Swami, is it okay? Can we chant the Tiruvadipurattil Jagatudittal Valiye, Swami? Can you please?
Yeah, sure.
Since it was the last. Can Devarir sing, Swami? Sorry,
Yeah.
recite, Swami.
Okay. கோதை பிறந்தவூர் கோவிந்தன் வாழுமோர் சோதி மணிமாடம் தோன்றுமோர் நீதியால் நல்ல பத்தர் வாழ்மோர் நான்மறைகளோதுமோர் வில்லிப்புத்தூர் வேதக்கோனூர் பாதகங்கள் தீர்க்கும் பரம நடிகாட்டும் வேதவனைத்தக்கும் வித்தாகும் கோதை தமிழ் ஐந்தும் அறியாட மானிடரை வையம் சுமப்பதும் வந்து திருவாடிபுரத்தில் ஜகத்துதித்தாழ்வாளிய திருப்பாவை 30 செப்பினாள் வாழிய பெரியாழ்வார் பெத்தெடுத்த பெண் பிள்ளை வாழிய பெரும்புதூர் மாமனிக்கு பின்னானாள் வாழிய 143 ரைத்தாள் வாழிய உயர் அரங்கற்கே கன்னி உகந்தரித்தாள் வாழிய மறுவாழ் திருவள்ளு வல்நாடு வாழிய பன் புதுவை நகர் கோதை மலர் பழங்கள் வாழியே ஸ்ரீமதே ரம்யஜா மாத்ரு முனீந்திராய மகாத்மனே ஸ்ரீரங்கவாசினே பூயாத் நித்யஸ்ரீ நித்யமங்கலம். Thank you. Would love to see if any of you would like to share any more messages from Thiruppavai.
Jai Sriman Narayana Swami, we are very, very blessed this Dhanurmasam to learn the meaning of Tiruppavai. Our journey with Tiruppavai started like 2 years ago or so when we figured how to read first, because that was the first challenge. But then even though I heard many upanyasams like from not very consistently, but I tried, but nothing was as effective as what you told us in these 30 days that I was able to understand. You made it very clear even for beginners like me to understand what Andal is saying, Swami.
It's
So
all
very, very thankful to you.
Anna's grace. Nothing. She is the one who blessed it that this came this way. There's nothing that is mine in this process. So it's
Sure. Yes, yes. You're a very humble instrument, Swami.
no,
I
no.
totally understand. But thank you so much. I mean, finally, like, I felt like what Andal is trying to say, So I'm like, I and Srinivas have been talking about Thiruppavai for a very, very, like, this whole Dharmasam, we spoke about what you've been saying. One of my main key takeaways, I will keep it brief, Swami. There is a lot actually, but first thing was like how Andal woke up all those Gopikas or the Bhagavatas, and each of the Bhagavata was again great by themselves. Like I remember the first Bhagavata was so deep in meditation that she didn't want to come out of her meditation on Krishna, and then there are the other Bhagavatas who had lot of knowledge, or there are other Bhagavatas like who were so immersed in the service of Krishna that he forgot to leave the calves to the cows, so the milk was overflowing.
Right,
So
right.
when I reflect now back on all those, like that is why I think Arnold was saying that we all need to have a ghosty, or we need to have like a company of other Bhagavatas, because each of us will have our own strengths. And together, like it's consistent with consistent practice, we can all reach Perumal
Yes.
easily. We can help each other get there, which is very amazing, Swami. One thing, other takeaway was like Prahalada showed us, like and how Andal told us, like leave these materialistic desires to a minimum. I can't say I will leave away all materialistic desires. I think my husband will fall unconscious if I say it. So leave them to a minimum, but then realize that we all need the we need to reach Krishna. Ultimately, he's our means, he's our goal, he's our journey.
Right.
And he's the one who's enjoying all this, the results, everything, like all those concepts you told, like those are the ones I think I'll keep with me, Swami. There are a lot more, but this is what I could think at this time. But
Very nice.
again, very blessed. Thank you, Swami.
And thank you so much for sharing all these things. And one of the beautiful points that you said, right? Like I felt like clapping that each of us have our own strengths. So that is the beauty of Goshti, right? When we see Bhagavatas, when we are alone, one of the things that we don't understand is, we may think if at all we are performing well, we think that I'm a great performer. If at all don't perform well, we'll think that I'm anyway not suitable for this and we'll give it up. But when we are with Goshti, one of the beautiful things is that everybody has something beautiful that we will find, like how beautifully this person serves Perumal, and there is always something to learn from everybody, all Bhagavatas. So that is one of the beauties that we have here in our place, right? So many Bhagavatas and constant opportunity to associate with Bhagavatas and learn so much from you know all Bhagavatas. So very nice. It was very touching. Thank you so much for sharing.
Dasam again.
Again.
Sorry, Ariane, to
Adi-
add to whatever Ramya said, like Ramya Ariane said, Andal's friends are also like, they are not like normal people. They are also like, have some special qualities. There is a saying, right? You you tell me who your friends are, I'll tell about you,
Yes.
right?
Yes.
So if we know about Andal, like,
Mm-hmm.
so then Andal's friends will also be like her only, no?
Mm-hmm.
They all will be like powerful in their own Bhagavata, type of powerful in their own strength. So
Mm-hmm.
Andal is not going to choose some Tom, Dick, and Harry who has no knowledge about Krishna.
Right, right.
So the friends that she picked are all like who are at par or above than Andal's knowledge about all, about everything. So that's like I wanted to add to Ramya Adian's comment. And like so Adian's takeaway is like I thoroughly enjoyed the type of questions that we discussed, like your part of Upanyasam. So I got to learn like so many different perspectives of the same Tiruppavai. The same Tiruppavai I have been chanting since my birth. Okay, I mean not right after I was born. After I started talking, so in our house, like we start teaching all this, these things right from when we start to talk only, no. But the 30 days that I observed was, it's like totally a different perspective than some of them, not all. Some of them are like a totally different perspective than what I have heard in the past, like so many different upanyasams, reading so many, articles about Thiruppavai by so many different people. Like nowadays, like if you go to YouTube, everyone is saying like Upanyasam on Thiruppavai for all 30 days. So, but like how it is different from what I have heard in the past, that makes that is the one that I can take away, right? See, if you are going to say the same thing that I already know, I am not taking away anything.
Sure. Yes.
But all the 30 days, I had something that I haven't heard in the past, upanyasams that I have heard. So that's my takeaway. And the questions, like every time like Ramya Adian asks a question and I'm like, yen inamadani. Yen inamada means you and I are on the same boat, Ramya. I also, feel the same thing. Like, I have trouble like concentrating or meditating on Krishna. I was talking to Napine, like Ramya ji was asking how to concentrate, right? So yeah, I start concentrating and then my mind gets diverted to other things. I also tried the opposite. So if I try to concentrate on Krishna, my mind gets diverted and starts thinking about something else, right? Then I tried, okay, let me try and start to think about something else and check if my mind comes to Krishna, to see, if the opposite happens.
Yes.
That's a total failure. I start thinking about worse thing. So it's like, it's so nice to learn that I'm not alone in the situation. We are all on the same boat.
Right.
And we are all like, going through the same thing.
Right.
So that's like all Ramya Arian's question. And I enjoyed like all the questions that Mithila asked, like, for her age,
Right.
that was the time when I actually started talking. I didn't even have knowledge that I could ask all these type of questions, like questions that Mithila asked, the questions that Anantan asked, the discussion that we had, like, about like so many different perspectives. So I enjoyed everything, and more than taking away and enjoyed, you all know, like I am on the roads all the time because I have, an eighth grader who's doing travel basketball. And today, like, it's not basketball, today it's tennis. So you all have traveled in the car with me the past 30 days. Wherever I went, you all have traveled with me. So from tomorrow onwards, I don't know what I will do when I'm sitting, in the car. All the high schools and all the school parking lot in Woodbury area heard your upanyasam. All the trees, all the grass, because like, yeah, I will be waiting in the parking lot. And today, like, Vaishnavi, like, she messaged me, Akka, it will be in the second line. It will be anywhere between 8:15 to 8:30. I was driving at that time. So I pulled over and I parked the car in a parking lot, in a mall's parking lot, because I didn't want to miss it. And so personally, like, you gave Ariane a wonderful opportunity to be a part of this upanyasam. And last but not the least, like, I want to thank Nappine too, because Achyutan, even today, if he wants to tease me, he will say, like, Nappane auntie was singing beautifully and you grabbed the opportunity to sing along with her and you spoiled it.
No, I want
So,
to thank both of you for actually doing that amazing Mangala Sasnam at the beginning of every, discussion, right? Both of you, despite traveling to, right, Napinaji, I want to thank that too. You had been on a trip, but despite that, every day you made sure that, you were there, and, you have done that blessing in the form of both of you. Both of you have done that blessing in the form of Goda Devi, in the beginning of this pastime. And every one of you, right? I would like to sincerely thank, right? Because Tiruppavai has to happen this way, and that is how it has happened, by the blessings of all of you. Right? Many of you had so many commitments. December is a busy month. January is a busy month for everybody. despite that, most of you were able to join on most days. So I'm very, very grateful that you all made this happen. Right. Thank you so much.
Thank you. Thank you so much, Swami. Adiyan. Jai Shri Narayana.
Yes.
Napine has raised her hand.
Yes, Tapinaji, please go ahead.
Jai Shri Narayana, Swami.
Adiyan.
Swami, the entire month we enjoyed a lot, along with the kids as well, because since this was in English, they were able to relate to their, some of the examples you gave, they were able to laugh at it. They were able to relate with their, daily activities and things like that. So thank you so much, Swami. It was the whole month. It's all because of the grace of Andal.
Yes.
Or I would say grace of Perumal, because he loves Andal so much that he wants us all to chant her verses and listen to her heart during this entire month. It's
Yes.
not with nothing without the grace of Krishna and Andal this could have happened. But thanks that it happened through you, Swami. They used Devarir as the tool to help us all understand. So thank you so much for being the tool for us.
Because
And
Again, I had to also read a lot and hear a lot, and I think I want to thank all of you also, because so many of you are joining, right? That motivation to make sure that I cover every aspect, that I was reading multiple books just to make sure that all of this. So I gained a lot of knowledge that I didn't previously. I used to just hear passively one discourse, but this gave me an opportunity to grow in Thiruppavai also. Thanks to all of you. Adiyan, please share.
Adiyan, Swami. Thank you so much, Swami. Please, we are looking forward to more discourses from you. And we thoroughly enjoyed it. And this is one of the best Margari, I would say, for me at least, because I have not been in constant thinking of Andal or Tiruppavai the entire 30 days. This was the first time. More than 30 days. It's 32 days. So,
Adiyan.
yeah, constant. Adiyan, Swami.
Thank you so much. Adiyan. Thank you.
Jai Shri Narayana.
Jai Shrimanara.
Jai Srimana Swami.
Jai Shrimanara. Namaskar.
It's very good session, Swami, and very good discourse all throughout this 32 days. As Ramya was telling, every time we talk, no other topic came between us. Every time it's like Tiruppavai, Tiruppavai. And we learned so many things. Like the first and foremost thing is we did our Samashanam in 2022. And from then on, we are thinking like we should do Dharmasam, we should do Dharmasam. We tried so hard last year, but we couldn't do it. But this year was very successful. Again, this is because associating with all the best Bhagavatas here. And as Napanen Garu said, it's like fair best. Like this is our first and the best. And it's like we learned a lot, like very lot. Like I can list a few, like Sarnagati. What actually Sarnagati means, how to be really humble, be how to keep God in the center always, and how to accept others without any judgment, practicing Shama, gratitude, all all good things for me. As you said, like this is the saram of all the Vedas. I can see it, I can feel it. Thanks so much, Swami.
Thank
I
you.
mean, I know it's not easy, like you're sick, but again, you managed so very well all these last few days.
All
Thank
of
you.
Acharya Anugraham. I would like
Thank
to
you, Swami.
because of Acharya Anugraham, each of our Acharyas have blessed all of us. So because of that, this was happening. So,
Again, humble souls. Yes, Swami,
I'm
sorry.
not.
Thank you.
Thank you.
Anekadasam Adiyan wanted to felt, ante how I felt, I just wanted to share it. Whatever you are saying, your pravachanam, Raghuswami, I felt that you have basically summarized what our Chinnajir Swamiji's pravachanams how they are. And also Satlur Swami, a little bit of Kandade Swami. And I listened all Tiruppavai Pravachanams. Of course, I listened to other great Bhagavatas, Pravachanams, also Janakamba Garu, all that. But they're all in Telugu. So I enjoyed listening. Every year we listen to Acharya Pravachanams, Tiruppavai Pravachanams. So it's like so smooth and so wonderful. Every year Acharya makes it interesting. But listening years, every pravachanam I see there is always whatever Acharya has covered, you have conveyed that message. I honestly felt every pravachanam, I felt like, okay, I've already listened to this part of it somewhere when Acharya has said in some context. Not necessarily Tiruppavai, maybe some other context. So wonderful, Eddie, and you got all the great blessings. And other thing I wanted to share is about Arimare Kanna, right?
Yes.
We were talking about that, right, Eddie? And so I was going to share the same last week itself, it seems it really worked. Acharya did 3 days in Srirangam in 2013 where there were draft, so it rained like anything. It's what that's what Acharya conveyed the message. It's like so powerful. Tiruppavai is so powerful. Each and every pasuram is so powerful. It's very aram. And Adiyan started reading Tiruppavai at the age of 16 and 17, and that's where Adiyan got Panchasamaskarams done with Chinnajia Swamiji. It's been like 20 to 23 years now, I guess. But every year, all after 30 days, Adiyan always gets something positive blessings from Mother Andal. So it is really true. When we start the journey, we will never stop it. We will continue for the rest of our life. So I wish very good luck to Ramya Ji and Srinivas Garu. I think next year you should be able to say Tiruppavai flawlessly because this is your first year, right? So you will enjoy even more next year. Adiyan Anika Dasaham Jai Shrimanarayana.
The blessing this time should be that those LA fires should subside, and then Jahnavi and many others and so many people have been devastated. So I think that's where rains should fall. That's where Perumal's grace should fall, and everything should pacify. Adiyan, Napinaji, Jai Shri Mami.
Let Jayashri Mami go, Swami, first,
Yes,
because
Mami.
Pav Mom is waiting for a long time.
Yes, yes.
Okay, no problem. I cannot talk like others, but only thing I can say is I really appreciate how much dedication and effort you put on this whole month, is continuously without break. It's very it's not a big deal, and how difficult it is. Even we cannot continue if you decide something not to do any meditation or any exercise. We cannot continue the whole whole month. It's very difficult. And I also feel that you are very sick today, and but in spite of your sickness, you finished without any break. And I really the takeaways only I can take it from you, that the dedication we should give on every task we do. If you think of you, at least we can have our motivation to complete whatever we start, and without fail we can finish. Whatever happens, we must complete that. Takeaway I can get it from you, Swami. Really appreciate your hard work and dedication.
Again, I don't have any qualities. So like when great acharyas walk, some particles of dust will stick to their feet. And when acharyas walk like that, many people will put flowers. So the dust particle shouldn't think that those flowers are for me, because that particle can fall anytime. So
But the effort is yours, that
all these
maybe
people
whatever you
are
say
all
is maybe
acharyas.
from acharyas, but this one, the effort you should put, that is you cannot.
No, what we need is all of your blessings, everybody, all Bhagavatas, right? We need your blessings, both of us. Thank you for
Thank you, Swami.
all the blessings you have given.
We learned many new things from you from this Upanyasams.
Thank you so much, Mami. Mami was sharing a beautiful Pasuram yesterday from Adhikara Sangraham, right, of Vedanta Desika.
Yeah. Yes, Adhikara Sangraham.
Right, 51, right, Mami? Where
51 Pasuram again.
Swami Desikan was very beautifully describing the glories of Tiruvadi, Perumal's Tiruvadi, right? Mami, if you want to recite that, please, use this opportunity.
No. Do you have time? I don't know.
I
must
don't think it'll take too much time, Mami. Please do. It'll be nice if it comes from you.
No, he. 1 second, I will take that. If you hear from Malola Kannan, they sing very well. They recite very well. Yeah, and every line describes the glory of the feet of the Perumal. But particularly Ranganatha Perumal. உருசகடம் உடைய ஒரு காலுற்றுணர்ந்தன உடன் மருதம் உடைய ஒரு போதில் தவழ்ந்தன உரிதடவும் அளவில் உரலோடுற்று நின்றன ஒரு நெறி ஓர் தருமன் வீடு தூது குகந்தன மரநெறியர் முறிய பெரிதானத்து வந்தன மலர்மகள் கைவருட மலர் போதில் சிவந்தன மறுபிறவி அருமுனிவர் மாலுக்கிசைந்தன மனுமுறையில் வருவதோர் விமானத்துறைந்தன அறமுடைய விசயன் அமர்த்தேரில் திகழ்ந்தன அடல் உரக படமடிய ஆடிக் கடிந்தன அருசமயம் அறிவறிய தானத்தமர்ந்தன அணைக்குறுகை நகர்முனிவர் நாவுக்கமைந்தன வெறியுடைய துளவமலர் வீறுக்கணிந்தன விழுகரியோர் குமரனென மேவிச் சிறந்தன விரலசுரர் படையடிய வீயத் துறந்தன விடலறிய பெரிய பெருமாள் மென்பதங்களே. All every line describes the activities done by his feet.
Yes.
Thank you, Swami.
Thank you so much, Mami. Again, Appineji, can I take 1 minute to, I wanted to say one thing. I found a very beautiful passage, right, on the power of association, right? I wanted to share. Most of you must have known this, but this is very relevant for Thiruppavai, which I felt should be shared with Bhagavatas. So, the power of association, it is described like this, that the raindrop, it falls from the sky, and if it falls in the hands, it is pure enough for drinking. The same raindrop, if it falls in a gutter, its value drops so much that it can't even be used for washing the feet. Okay, if the same raindrop falls on hot surface, it perishes completely. The same raindrop falls on lotus leaf, it shines like a pearl, and finally, if it falls on an oyster, it becomes a pearl. So the drop is the same, but its existence and worth depends upon with whom it always associates. So wanted to share that. That's the power of association is beautifully described in this passage. And the raindrop is the same, but the association is what makes what it is. So Thiruppavai is all about Bhagavata association. So may that always be there for all of us. Nappineji, please go.
Hariyan Swami, Ananthan wants to say a word. That's it. Swami.
Ananthan, go ahead. How are you, Kanna? Are you feeling better today?
Yeah.
Fully recovered?
Thank you. Yeah, I already did it. Thank you.
Very, very nice. Thank you, Kanna.
Jai Narayana.
Jai Sriman Narayana. Thank you so much, Kanna.
Hariyan Swami, to you and Vaishnavi, Ningada Selvam Nirainda Swami, by the grace of Andal and Krishna Swami.
Hariyan, thank you. Please bless all.
Yeah. I want to add Vaishnavi I need to thank Vaishnavi for starting this group and starting this initiative. Good job. Thank you, Vaishnavi.
Thank you, Anna. Thank you so much.
I saved that for the grand finale. Thanking Vaishnavi, I wanted to save it for the last because she is Andal of your house, right? Raghavan Swami, like how Andal woke Krishna up, Neela Tungastanakiri Dadi. She would have nudged you or nagged you to do this, right?
Yes, that's
Yeah, otherwise, you wouldn't have had the drive. I mean, I'm just assuming.
That is
I'm
true.
always
That
not
is true. I didn't
asking.
have the drive to do it. I was not
Okay.
willing to do it.
Thank you.
She
Thank you.
collected all the Bhagavatas too.
He was the one
Yeah.
who, pushed me to do it. I was very resistant that day too. I was saying like, I've been doing this course for the last 6 months. I was, doing coursework. I had just this 1 month of gap in between. So really didn't want to commit to anything, but she was the one who got that inspiration. She was the one who pushed it. She was the one who, gathered everybody too. So definitely
Yeah.
convey
Coordinating.
you to her too for whatever she did.
Yeah. So yeah, thank you very much, Vaishnavi, because that's the power of that's the women power. Like that's what Andal is doing, right? I mean, I'm not talking feminism here, but that is why we say like Purushakara Budai just to for good things, like to bless the Bhagavatas. And if not for Vaishnavi asking you to do it, like this wouldn't have happened, right? So thank you, Vaishnavi, and also as I always said, like thank you for including me. That's like how Andal picked the 15 Bhagavatas. Like I'm happy to know that, we, not just me, we were all like, Bhagavatas in your Goshti. Thank you, Vaishnavi, for that.
We actually have 10 to 12 Bhagavatas joining consistently. So probably these are all the, Bhagavatas described in
That
Pasuram.
15 Bhagavatas.
Yeah. So thank you. We have to take shelter of all of you to proceed to Perumal. So that is how all of you came together. So thank you so much.
Thank you so much, Harini Akka and Napine Akka, for singing every day and for being part of this. Thank you.
Oh, please, no thanks. It's like our bhagyam.
I want to add two things. So firstly, this is for the first time. I am actually hearing to Thiruppavai Pasurams, like I've never heard it before. And understanding it is another next level for me. I can't even pronounce it, to be very honest. But I think I'm the first person, or maybe I am with Srinivas Anna. Sorry, we are partners in this. We can't pronounce it, but we have learned the deeper meanings of Pasurams. So I feel very, very I still remember that morning, first day, like I just woke up. I was just doing my, daily things, and suddenly I felt like this year I want to learn Tiruppavai, and Perumal just inspired me, and it's all there, grace and blessings. Like somewhere I might have done some nice thing. They might have felt happy with that, and they just, inspired me in this way. But basically, I will not get, that spiritual interest that easily. So I feel very grateful to Perumal, and thank you so much for accepting my request and teaching Tiruppavai. I know you've spent a lot of time. Your schedule is very busy.
No, not me. I thought you were thanking them.
Like everybody,
Yeah.
everybody. But personally, I want to thank you because I have seen you daily, sitting there and preparing for 4 hours. Just because I asked you, you started telling this, and I'm very, very happy, and I'm very blessed to have all these Bhagavatas with me in this journey, because I, not only from your discourse, like I've learned a lot from each and everybody. Like Andal was saying, like everybody have their own, like even Ramyaka, she was telling, right, every Bhagavata have their own quality. Here, whoever is here, like I'm learning a lot from each and every one. It's not just the words, but in as like personalities, everybody have their own personality, and we can learn a lot from everybody. So I feel that I got an opportunity, and I'm blessed for this, like to learn a lot about the Bhagavatas on Zoom call, and the Bhagavatas on Tiruppavai, and Perumal itself. Thank you so much. I don't want to take much time.
Thank you.
Lot of blessings to you, Vaishnavi, for starting this and including all of us. Like I am also right there with you on not understanding Thiruppavai and not being super spiritual. So this was good for both of us. And again, without you, this would not have happened at all. You are the Andal, and you finally got Krishna to come and explain Thiruppavai to all of us. So many blessings to you, Vaishu. I hope you keep asking Raghavaswami more and more discourses, so then you can pull us all of us again and again. Raghavaswami is not happy, but I know Vaishu, you will do it.
Thank you so
Yeah,
much,
with
Akka.
Perumal's
Thank you.
blessings, we'll see if it permits. Then we have plans of doing many things, but Perumal willing, it has to happen upon his desire. Whenever he desires, those things will happen, and we will certainly let all of you know.
One fine day I will let you all know, Akka. Just
Perumal's desire and mainly Andal's desire, Adian. For Andal, Perumal will do it.
thank you, Ramya
Thank you,
Akka.
Adian. Thank you, Ramya. Okay, I know it's very late for everybody, so I would like to once again express my deep gratitude to each one of you for taking time, participating in this. Please accept my apologies and my obeisances for any mistakes that we have committed in this process, and any offenses we have committed to any. So please forgive us. Thank you all.
Thank you, Jai Shrimanarayana.
Jai Shrimanarayana.
Jai Shri Narayana.
Yes, Narayana.
Shrimanarayana.